Hello, my name is Rochelle Macready. I'm a science graduate and a lawyer, and I'd like to talk to you about ACTA, A-C-T-A. What I propose to do is to tell you what ACTA is, how ACTA will affect you, and what you can and must do to stop ACTA. ACTA stands for the Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement. ACTA is a treaty. There are two stages to a treaty. The first is the signing, and the second process is referred to as ratification. And in the second process, the law embodied in the treaty is adopted by the country that signed the treaty. Now, so far, the second stage has not as yet occurred in Australia, and we can stop ACTA. The remarks I'm making about ACTA are not only applicable to Australia, because ACTA is an international agreement, but also applicable to other countries. Other countries may have ratified ACTA, but it's equally as important that countries stop ACTA wherever they are. And in ACTA, Article 41 enables signatory countries, even if they're ratified, to get out of the treaty, and it's very important that you lobby your governments to get out of the treaty. The first point I'd like to make about ACTA is there is absolutely no necessity for this treaty. It's a very large sledgehammer being used to crack a very small nut. ACTA is there to stop misuse of trademarks and counterfeiting with trademarks, and also breaches of copyright. But what you should understand is that there are already provisions in place for people who claim these things. They already have remedies under the law, so there is no need to adopt the provisions of the ACTA treaty. What I'd like to do is to tell you that ACTA was negotiated in private, without any consultation, members of the public, academics, anybody. It was simply signed by the government without consulting the electorate. This in itself should be enough to make you suspicious, get you offside, and make you want to do something about it, because your elected representatives have negotiated away your rights, and I will tell you how they've done that. Now, there's a dirty secret of the copyright lobby, and that is that the very people who manufactured and promoted the software to enable file sharing are the very ones who want to make criminals out of you for using it. And I refer you to Mike Mozart's excellent video on YouTube. There is another video on YouTube called What is ACTA, and I also recommend that you look at that one as well. The stated aims of ACTA do not stand up to scrutiny. It's been suggested that the country is losing massive amounts of money because people are engaging in file sharing. This is just not true. What it does is it takes the view that if people engage in file sharing, that's lost money, lost profits. But you see, the thing is that those who engage in file sharing are actually the entertainment industry's best customers. Also, the fact that people may engage in file sharing and may not buy a film, music, doesn't mean that the money is being spent overseas. It may still be spent within the Australian economy, so it doesn't follow that the money is going overseas. There's another false claim made about file sharing, and that's that file sharing constitutes theft. This is absolutely preposterous. Theft has a technical meaning in law. There are two aspects to theft. One is animus ferandi, and that is the mental state to permanently deprive the owner of the possession of the property, and the other is asportation, which refers to a taking of the property and carrying it away. Now, when somebody engages in file sharing, neither of those things happen. The original file still stays with the right holder, so it's preposterous to describe this as theft. It's a complete misuse of terms. Also, ACTA will have some very, very bad effects on you. It will affect your future and your children's future. The ACTA Treaty is a very cunningly crafted document. In some parts of ACTA, it says that you're not obliged to enact laws that make activity that is not already a criminal offence, and then further down the treaty it says that you're obliged to do this. I just thought I would recommend that you consult ACTA if in doubt. Now, when ACTA comes into force, or if ACTA comes into force, there will be excessive surveillance, because the only way people can scrutinise to see that there is no file sharing is if your ISP checks every packet of information that comes into your computer and leaves your computer. They are obliged also, if they find any information that constitutes a breach of copyright, to report that to the right holder. Now, depending on the law, you could either be fined or imprisoned for this. So not only will you lose privacy, but you may end up with a jail sentence. Another thing you should think about is if a warrant is issued for someone in your house, especially if you live in a share house, you have a large family, every computer in that house will be seized. And pity help you trying to get them back. Now, something Australians seem to care about almost to the exclusion of everything else is sport. And what happens is that same-day downloads are not available. This is the case of the entertainment industry not being responsive to consumer demand. So what a lot of people do is they engage in file sharing. Now, this is already illegal, but the consequences become far more dire under ACTA. Possible jail sentence, heavy fines, you may lose your house to pay court costs. The other really scary thing about ACTA is that it makes it possible for right holders, that's the person who owns the copyright material, trademark, to completely bypass the judicial system of this country. So if, say, your 14-year-old son or daughter is accused of breaching copyright by having something as innocent as a link on their Facebook page to material that's copyrighted in China, it's entirely possible that your 14-year-old son or daughter could be extradited to stand trial in China. And pity help them if they are, because the Chinese legal system is not the same as ours. A person isn't innocent until they're proven guilty. In fact, under the Chinese legal system, a plea of not guilty is almost unheard of. And your son or daughter may go to a re-education camp. How do you think they're going to get on if they can't speak the language, or to a prison? And it's likely to be a life sentence. And how do you think they're going to get on if the government decides to start harvesting their organs? They decide that maybe they can do without one kidney, maybe they can do without one of their lungs and perhaps half their liver, because the wife of some $30 million a year CEO in America wants them. This is entirely possible. So ACTA makes huge inroads into national sovereignty. We don't know as yet how the law regarding extradition applies. If you're accused of breaching copyright in another country, the United States, or Saudi Arabia, or China, we don't know. It's not clear on the wording of the treaty whether you'll actually be tried under their law in this jurisdiction or whether you will be extradited to stand trial. Supposing you're convicted of breaching some provision under Saudi law and you're sentenced to 40 lashes. I mean, who will administer those lashes? It has some fairly frightening consequences. There's always been a thing in international law that extraterritorial jurisdiction has been frowned upon. This happened in the fairly early days of Australia. There was a case of McLeod, the Attorney General for New South Wales, where extraterritoriality was struck down. But ACTA completely reverses that. And if you think that people aren't likely to be extreme, then I'll tell you that the US government is trying to extradite a young man in England, a Mr. O'Dwyer, who was a student, for having a link on his website to material that is copyright in America. And what he did in England is not an offence, but they want to extradite him to the United States to stand trial. There's also a single mother, and she's been sued for $1.9 million for downloading 24 songs. The problem is that if this treaty comes into effect, people in this country may well be at the mercy of US bureaucrats. Now I'll tell you what you can and must do to stop ACTA. A nation of sheep will beget a government of wolves, Edward R. Morrow, and also when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Thomas Jefferson. What we need to do is we need to take our governments back. We need to remind our elected representatives that we are the ones who put them there. Now, the most effective strategy for doing this is to actually physically go in to see your elected representatives. Please go to see your federal representatives, not your state representatives. If you wish to ascertain the identity of your federal representative, I suggest you go to the Australian Electoral Commission's website. There are provisions on that website for you to insert your postcode or your address. And if you don't have access to a computer, then I suggest you ring the major political parties in your electorate, and I'm sure they will tell you. What you then need to do, once you've ascertained the identity of your local member, is you need to ring his or her office. And you need to tell them that you would like an appointment to see that person. Now, please don't be fobbed off, because the person on the end of the phone may well say to you, "I'm sorry, Mr. or Miss So-and-so is far too busy to see you at the moment." That's all right. Say, "All right, well, I'd like to see somebody else in their office." Because politics is a numbers game, and it's feet through the door that counts. What you should do is you should prepare a 10-point plan. Please don't go in to see your elected representative with a huge stack of papers and hand them a huge stack of papers, because I can guarantee they won't be read. You should try to get everything you say down to not much more than 2 A4 pages. But please do reference everything you say. Now, I have prepared a 10-point plan, and you'll find the sample 10-point plan on truthnews.com.au/stop ACTA. Do be polite. When you talk to your local member, please don't be rude or confrontationist, because that won't get you anywhere. Explain to them that you are concerned about the impact that ACTA will have on our lives, the lives of our children and this country. But you should be very firm, and you should make it clear to them that you will only support a candidate who opposes ACTA. Now, let's take the worst case scenario. Supposing your local sitting federal member says, "Well, I'm sorry, I've listened to what you've said, but I'm not convinced. I'm afraid we need ACTA because the country's going broke." Well, then you know that they're not interested. So what you need to do is to contact the opposition parties, there may be more than one in your area, and talk to somebody from that party and explain your position to them. And supposing the opposition parties decide that they also support ACTA, this is a very dismal sort of likelihood, but it's just the worst case scenario, and I'd like to cover this. What you must then do is hold public meetings in your electorate, telling people about ACTA and telling people what they can do to stop ACTA. What I suggest you do is you field your own candidates in those circumstances. Supposing you decide that you're not going to go to see your local member and you'd rather do something else, please do not send an email or make a telephone call and think that this will be just as good. It won't. Emails are read by people a long way down the food chain, and your local member is not likely to see them. Nor is it likely that the contents of your telephone conversation will be passed on to the local member. If you cannot go and physically see your local member, then what I suggest you do is you write a letter referring to the 10-point plan on the website, include the references, make sure it's no more than about 2 A4 pages, and post it to them snail mail, because that also demonstrates a high level of commitment. It demonstrates less commitment than physically going to see them, but it still demonstrates a high level of commitment. You should understand that there are far more of us than there are of them, and please do go viral with this information. What you should do is you should put out tweets with references back to the website, truthnews.com.au/stop ACTA, and then if you can do nothing else, then I guess it's better to send an email or make a telephone call than do nothing. But really, I do urge you to go to see your local member. Stand up for your rights before they go. Remember, this could be the end of a lot of freedom of speech in this country.